when Megan said she should have stayed at home, I couldn't help but agree, because if she had stayed at home, then we wouldn't have had that conversation between Blue and Tony. Because Blue, what were you doing? Hit my man. What were you doing, Blue? Like, relax. You're definitely trying to get your 5 minutes of fame. It's so obvious. Anyway, last night's Love Island, because William was late. Sorry. So we started off with best no filter moment, and it started with Dejan's pasta moment. That wasn't unfiltered, sorry. Then it was Tony and Shakira. That's what I was scared for. I was nervous. And obviously Meg was pulling faces. She was acting all shocked. Oh my God, I'm aghast. Oh my God. And then they just said, we're happy for you, Meg. Like, we think you're genuine. And then Dejan was it was interesting that he was like, it's 2 weeks. This man is very calculated. He has been writing down, okay, so day 1, I go with 50-50. Day 2, I do this. Week 1, make week 3, I mess about. That's why he knows the dates to a T, because everything is calculated. It's crazy. And then it was Harry saying he can get Shakira back. Even Shakira was shocked. And then Blue starts piping up, asking what Shakira thinks. I'm like, Blue, we can really see that you're clinging. You're really trying to get some fame from this the second time round. And it's like, you can stop now. Thank you. And then Dejan was saying, like, how he's nice to the girls. And, oh, no, I think it was Meg saying, oh, you can't be nice. Oh, yeah, she was like, you can't be nice to people because this is what happens when you're nice. If that is what nice is to you, then I don't want to know what mean is, because your nicety is not nice. It's scary. And then obviously Tony called him a game player, and Dejan's there lying that he gets on with Tony. Like, he was saying to Ty, like, you guys see, like, you guys have seen how we get. Don't try and gaslight me. Don't try and do that. Anyway, then it was unfinished business, and it was Connor and Megan with the red bracelet and all of that. Then it was Emma and Harry. And obviously Harry was exposed with saying, I love you comment. And then Dejan is there. He's like, oh my God. Wow, I can't believe this man can act. Someone get that man an Oscar, please. Harry did not even buckle. The thing with Harry is he knows he's crazy, and then he owns it. He actually owns it. I'm not going to lie. So can you actually fault him when he's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But I think he was definitely shocked seeing how his actions have been portrayed. Because I think, who was it? Someone said that he lives in the moment, and I couldn't agree more. That is what it is. So then he forgets what he's done, because he's literally just living like second by second. It's so crazy. Then it was Shakira and Harry. And obviously Harry saying, oh, he thinks it would have been a better experience if he stayed with Shakira, or if Shakira stayed with him. And obviously Helena was pissed off about that, but Shakira did defend him and said that, yeah, he was talking about her, like Shakira's own experience. And he said, yeah, I'm being accountable. And then it was most emotional moment. And I don't know if anyone else clocked this, but before the clip started showing, Meg was like, oh, don't be me, I'm always crying. Guys, clock what she's doing. Because obviously Megan has told her how she's being portrayed as a heartless, cold person on the outside. She's like, okay, let me show them I have emotions. Let me show them I cry, weaponizing her tears. That was crazy. I was like, girl, stop trying to garner sympathy. We're not falling for it. Then obviously it was Cash crying. I was like, Cash, baby boy. And he's like, oh, bless him. He was like, what did he say? He was like, oh, don't cry, you bitch. I was like, Cash, stop it. And then I love that Connor tapped him like, you're a man, you're a real man. Yeah, he is. And then Blue decides to talk. Blue, shut up. She's like, oh, what do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Shut up. Then it was Shakira's breakdown, and I just found it so interesting how Meg and Helena watched Shakira's breakdown. Her breakdown is probably the most brutal breakdown ever, and there was no sympathy, there was no empathy, there was nothing. And then Meg, when Shakira said the whole fake thing, she was like, right back at you. You see, you're heartless, and you think anyone's going to have sympathy for you. Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you, Meg. Sorry. Because if you can't feel bad for Shakira, then nah, I don't relate to you. Done. And then Angel was trying to pipe. I was like, not pipe up, but she was making faces. Like, clearly I've seen what side Angel you're on. And then, which is actually facts, because Tony did say that Angel's made no effort with them, and we can tell why. And then Blue decides to talk again, like, because I think Tony was like, oh, you guys see what you've done, how you make people feel. And then Blue's like, oh, do you see, what about you, how you made Cash feel? Please, we've moved on from Cash. Stop trying to draw the attention back to Cash. Shut up. You honestly just want your 5 minutes of fame. No, that's enough. And then obviously Tony was calling out all the boys, and she literally, because you know when she said to them, "You, this is how you make people feel," blah 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 blah, and they all laughed in her face, and she called it out. And Dejan is there trying to defend, deflect, as Yaz said. That's all he fucking. Sorry for swearing. That's all he does. It's really annoying. And then it was Tony's breakdown, and obviously it was when she said, "How many times will I make someone better for someone else?" Cash won that category, and Cash is great. Man said it's AI. I loved it. It was great. It was brilliant. Then it was Critics' Choice. So it was Blue and Megan that got to choose the winners. So the first one was Dejan and Harry at movie night. When Dejan was like, "Oh yeah, let's not, let's not interfere with the girls fighting, because then the heat's going to be on them." No one said anything about that. Then it was Meg and Dejan. And obviously, Meg saying, "Oh, everyone's jealous of us, babe. They want what we have." And Yaz started speaking facts, and she was like, "It's not people piping up about you in the villa. This was the public, so it's what the public are seeing." And then Dejan started saying, "Yaz, you used to defend me." Has Dejan forgotten how he treated Yaz? Like, why would she continue to defend you when you were always coming for her? Like, let's remember who you are, Dejan. And then he just shut down every conversation. Even when Meg was trying to pipe up and talk, he was just like, "Nah, just leave it. Like, how can you have a relationship with someone who doesn't want to have serious conversations? Someone that just, what's the word I'm looking for? He just kind of cowards away from conflict. It's not good. It's actually really bad. Anyway, then it was Shakira and Harry's talk on the stairs. And then Harry's like, "I was alone coming in, so he can be alone going out again." Harry, you're on a dating show, as Megan did say. You are on a dating show. You didn't come here to go home alone. Like, if you did that, then you should have just left in the beginning. But anyway. And then, obviously, Shakira and Harry won. And Blue says, "Congrats, brother." And Harry's like, "Yeah, I didn't need that from you." But he said he takes responsibility of everything. He knows it was his doing. And then she was like, "Oh, it was really hard to watch." And Helena's like, "Oh, for who? For you or me?" And he was like, "For me, because I was sat next to you." Oh, I hate this boy. And then after obviously everything happened, I just found like Ty was there agreeing with Dejan, saying, "Yeah, like the girls are so friendly with you, so it's so crazy to hear them bitching." Like, boy, let's not. Then Connor and Harry chat, and Connor just gave it to Harry. He just said, "Look, there's been no respect for how you've moved. You've destroyed Shakira's experience. You're now destroying Helena's." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to end up with no one. Like, that's fine." And then he says that him and Helena have been friendly, but him and Shakira were, like, it was a real emotional relationship, which is true. At the end of the day, the only reason Harry went with Helena in the first place was because of Dejan, got into his head, and everyone's saying undeniable connection, undeniable. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't Harry that cut things off with Shakira. Shakira did, because she couldn't stand the disrespect anymore. Harry would not have cut it off with Shakira at all. That man actually still wanted her, because he has a type. Look at Emma. Anyway. Then Helena and Megan talk, and Helena says, "Oh, when you're chatting to a man and he's like, being really, really mean, and he's fucked you over so many times, and then you finally you hate them." No, people walk out when they don't need someone to fuck up multiple times before they leave them. Like, you fuck up once, you have to be a strict babe. Then Connor's like, "Oh, you're a 30-year-old man. I don't feel bad for him." Fair enough. And then Blue takes Tony for a chat. Blue, shut up. Blue, actually shut up, because I don't know who you were trying to be Larry to. And it's the fact that he even thought like he ate with his old, "Oh, you putting your 2 pence in, you're putting your 50 pence in." How long have you been waiting to say that? You wrote that one down, didn't you? Crazy. And I just, guys, honestly, who needs enemies when you have friends like Dejan? Because the way Dejan is acting like, "Oh, I didn't know Harry was like this." You were egging him on. You were the puppet master, and you didn't know. You don't need friends. You don't need enemies. You don't need enemies when you have Dejan. That's crazy.